Today's a WRAL weather alert day with extreme heat and a chance of severe storms. I'll walk you through what to expect as the heat climbs and the storms roll in.
Vape shop break-in. Thousands of dollars in merchandise was stolen from a shop on Capitol Boulevard. What we're learning from surveillance video only on WRAL.
Teen takeover. Raleigh police say thousands of teenagers gathered over the weekend, causing chaos in the city. The fights and shootings that happened a part of this uproar.
And we're following those stories and more. Plus, a look at your morning commute. WRAL News at 8 on Fox 50 starts in 30 seconds.
Now be careful with Hardee's new hot honey. You'll get lost in that made-from-scratch hot honey chicken biscuit. Right now, get the hot honey chicken biscuit or any chicken biscuit for just $3.99. Only at Hardee's.
What's up, Bubba?
Hey, Brad.
Did we win something?
Oh, yeah.
What's that?
Partner with some chicken.
Yeah.
Right now on the app, My Rewards members get the Bubba Wallace Full Throttle Tenders Meal with a collectible Hardee's card.
Your number one source for local news. This is WRAL, coverage you can count on.
Good morning, everyone. The time is 8 a.m. here on your Monday. I hope you had a great 4th of July weekend. I'm Laura Levine.
And I'm Ken Smith. Boy, we're coming back in some hot weather.
Yes.
And also tracking some severe weather possibilities. Let's get over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner, the WRAL Severe Weather Center, tracking it all for us.
Yeah, two things, just like yesterday. We have that heat advisory and the level 1 risk for severe storms. Let's jump on in and talk about the storms first. So they'll likely begin mid to late afternoon. Not everybody will see storms, but like yesterday, a few of those could produce some wind damage, and there may be pockets of some heavy, much-needed rain. Heat index forecast around the triangle, around 104 to 105. You can feel more like 107 to 109 in some of our southern counties. We take a look at our camera right behind the studio at the tower, and you can see partly cloudy skies, but it is warm and sticky. That dew point's way up at 74, so lots of moisture in the atmosphere. 76 is our current temperature, and we will warm up fast. It'll be 90 degrees by 11 o'clock, and we climb into the upper 90s, and it just isn't going to cool down that quickly unless you find yourself under one of those thunderstorms. And if so, temperatures would drop pretty quickly. Tuesday, we will repeat another chance for severe storms, another level 1 risk for Tuesday. So we do have the heat risk until 8 p.m. and then the severe weather threat for today and tomorrow. We'll talk more about when we get a little bit of a break from either one of those coming up. Ken?
This has been happening now in the WRAL traffic center. US 70 around east-west, around South Miami Boulevard continues to be an issue. You can see a crash that cleared about an hour and a half ago, but still causing some lingering delays in the area. Here's some brand new video into a newsroom with the help of Sky 5 of what this intersection looked like in the last 45 minutes. You can see crews using the tow truck right now to pull that truck out of the way. You can see what's happening right now. It's a situation where the tow truck was pulled out of the way, and that intersection is in the clearing phase, but boy, we still have some lingering delays in that particular area. So back here to the WRAL Traffic Center, if you want to avoid this area altogether, if you're heading east, you might want to help over to 885 and then to the Durham Freeway as an alternate route. If you're heading west, I-540 to 40 and then continue to journey that way. As far as other routes heading into Raleigh, a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and just a 1-minute delay coming in from Garner, Johnson County, I-40 westbound, and similarly, very little to no delays on I-87 and I-40 eastbound as well at this hour.
Ken, thank you. Breaking news we're following this morning. Raleigh police are investigating an overnight break-in at a vape shop. Ali Katlabar is at the scene on Capitol Boulevard for us. And Ali, the owner says tens of thousands of dollars of product was stolen.
Yeah, one of the store owners, Laura, tells me that $30,000 worth of THCA product was stolen this morning. Just over the past hour, we've seen that tobacco and vape store, Mini City Tobacco and Vape, reopen. And we want to take you to this video, though, of that break-in. The surveillance video only on WRAL shows the moment the suspect throws a hammer at the glass and shatters it. He keeps bashing the hammer through the glass. You can even see pieces of glass flying back at him. The suspect jumps through the window, and shortly after, you're looking at this video that shows the man dragging a trash can out of the shop. The store owner says in that trash can was that $30,000 worth of THCA product. This all happened around 2 this morning, again off Capitol Boulevard near East Millbrook Road. We are working to find out any updates about the suspect. Raleigh police say no one has been arrested. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Katlabar, WRAL News.
Raleigh police responded to a single-car crash this morning on Lake Wheeler Road. This happened near Kirkland Road, just south of I-40, around 3 o'clock this morning. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as the officers investigated. Police say the woman who was driving is expected to recover. Crews working early this morning to clear fallen trees from a road in Garner. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker as well on Benson Road near Foxbury Drive. Garner police had that road shut down temporarily while teams worked to remove that tree. Raleigh police say 9 people were shot after 2 massive teen takeovers in 2 parts of the city over the weekend.
Yeah, you probably have already seen the video of those massive crowds, but officers estimate several thousand teens and young adults showed up, even some with weapons. WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes is in downtown Raleigh for us this morning, breaking down the latest from police. And Elizabeth, we know that dozens of arrests were also made during this chaos.
Laura, that's right. Court documents suggest at least 27 people were arrested during the takeover that happened here in downtown Raleigh on Glenwood South. And this morning, Raleigh police are still looking for the suspected shooters in each of these incidents. Here's a timeline of what we know.
Let's start first at Briar Creek. Police say around 10:27 Saturday night, police got a report of a fight happening near the movie theater. They said this was part of a teen takeover. Nearly 3,000 teens were said to be there. After the fight, there was another large fight and shots were fired. Police say 2 innocent adults were injured. Police did detain someone under the age of 18 for having a handgun, but they don't believe that person fired the shots. Then let's go to Glenwood South. Around 1:30 Sunday morning, officers responded to multiple shootings around Glenwood South's entertainment district. There were about 5,000 people involved in that teen takeover. They were on multiple neighboring streets. 6 people were injured. All of those injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. Police called it a massive situation. Then, 3 hours later and less than a mile away, a fight happened at a gas station off Capitol Boulevard near Peace Street. That fight led to a shooting and 2 people were shot.
Now, some business owners here downtown told us that they actually ended up closing early to keep their staff safe. Some of them even floating the idea of a possible curfew downtown. They're now asking Raleigh officials to respond. Elizabeth Holmes, WRAL News, live in Raleigh.
Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce issuing a statement after the violence over the weekend. It read in part, "What happened across our city on the 4th of July is both heartbreaking and unacceptable. Our thoughts are with every victim, every family, and everyone whose lives were impacted by these senseless acts of violence." The chief went on to say, "We remain committed to identifying those responsible, holding them accountable, and working alongside our community to prevent this type of thing from happening again." We will, of course, follow the latest on these teen takeovers and the search for the suspects throughout the day. You can follow the WRAL News app and in our evening newscasts starting at 4 this afternoon.
The busy July 4th travel weekend is now behind us, and AAA says more people traveled than ever before this holiday weekend. Yesterday marked the last big travel day for the holiday. AAA projected more than 72 million traveled by car or plane. That surpasses last year's record.
A Fuquay Varina mother accused of causing the death of her 12-year-old son is expected in court today. Authorities arrested Holly Wren last week, 15 months after the death of her son Jacob. A grand jury indictment says she failed to get medical attention for her son's untreated diabetes. The indictment also says she showed a, quote, reckless disregard for her biological son's life. She's now facing charges of second-degree murder and child abuse.
People from local community organizations plan to speak against the proposed WakeMed Atrium partnership at today's Wake County Commission meeting. This proposal has raised some concerns about the future of healthcare costs.
Some of the biggest concerns that we have with this merger / takeover is that the quality of healthcare, the delivery of services is probably going to be impacted, and it's going to affect us. And when I say us, the Southeast Raleigh community, but Wake County as a whole, it's going to affect all of us in one way or another.
Commissioners have delayed voting on the deal until at least next month. Today's meeting will be at the Wake County Justice Center. That's happening at 2 p.m.
Well, the DBAP will host a watch party for tonight's match. Gates open at 6:30 this evening. There will also be watch parties at Moore Square in downtown Raleigh and Nomeco Park in Zebulon. And in Cary, a watch party is planned at Sports and Social at Fenton. WRAL will have coverage of tonight's big fan gatherings as well. It's time for the FIFA World Cup score of the day. England moving on to the next round after beating Mexico 3-2 last night. They will play Norway in the quarterfinals Saturday. You can watch all tonight's match from your own home right here on Fox 50. And before that, we'll have the Portugal-Spain game at 3 o'clock.
Your time now, 8:10. Hard landing. 8 people rescued from a seaplane that went down on the East River in New York City. The close call they had on the way down.
Also, millions at stake, a move that could reshape betting in North Carolina, while supporters and critics are both paying close attention to how prediction markets are being handled.
And today is a WRAL weather alert day. We have a heat risk starting at noon and a severe weather threat this afternoon and evening as well. We'll talk about how hot it will be where you are and when the storms will roll through. (8:13), same pattern as yesterday. We have that tropical flow coming out of the south, bringing the moisture in place. And of course, it's going to be very hot this afternoon. So we do have another chance for severe thunderstorms. It's a level 1 risk across the area. There were a few clusters of wind damage yesterday. We could see that again today. But a level 1 risk means that it's usually fairly isolated. Timeline, like yesterday too, mid to late afternoon with those scattered storms popping up. Not everybody will see them, but if you do, you could see some heavy rain and the chance of some wind damage with trees falling. Fenton and Cary looking quiet this morning. We have a mix of sun and clouds. It's a very warm start. And Raleigh at 76, 78 in Wilson, 77 in Goldsboro and in Fayetteville this morning. The pool sounds like a great place to be, but do beware. By mid to late afternoon, we'll have those thunderstorms popping up, and we'll see highs in the upper 90s, feeling more like the triple digits. Ken?
Right, as with happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, congestion beginning to ease up quite a bit on those lanes of Highway 70 east and west, particularly the eastbound lanes, but we're still seeing that trouble spot on those westbound lanes. So keep that in mind as you're about to head west on Highway 70 this morning. Of course, you can take I-540 to 40 and then continue the journey and avoid Highway 70 westbound at this hour. I have another update coming up in about 10 minutes.
Okay, Ken, thank you. 8 people had to be pulled to safety after a small seaplane here crashed into the East River in New York City. Witnesses say the plane appeared to come in close contact with an NYPD helicopter prior to this crash. It happened yesterday afternoon. The incident is being described as a hard landing. 8 people were pulled out of that plane safely, and 2 had minor injuries, but they refused medical treatment. It's still not clear where the plane took off from. 2 National Guard soldiers shot and killed a man in Memphis. Investigators say police responded to a shots fired call early yesterday morning. They found several people leaving the area. One man had a handgun. Officers and National Guard troops chased after him, and they say that the man turned the gun on the troops. The Guard member shot and killed the man.
Today, President Trump is expected to head to Turkey for this week's NATO summit. Leaders are expected to discuss the war in Ukraine and security in the Middle East and the Strait of Hormuz. They're also expected to talk about the future of the alliance. Relations between the U.S. and some NATO members remain strained. After the summit, President Trump is expected to meet with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. And looking ahead, the Palm Beach International Airport will officially change its name. Thursday, it will become the Donald J. Trump International Airport. Signs along I-95 in Florida already showing the change being reflected. The 3-letter airport designation will also switch from PBI to DJT, but that will not happen until next month.
The America 250 celebrations in the Triangle did not disappoint this past weekend. Thousands braved the heat to celebrate and catch some fireworks at Dix Park on Saturday. The celebrations also carried over into Sunday. The town of Holly Springs kicked off its year-long 150th anniversary celebration yesterday. People came together to celebrate both 250 years of the U.S. and 150 years of Holly Springs.
It's important to bring our family here and our friends and just come together as a community. We hear a lot of negative news out there, and I think this is just a really positive atmosphere for everyone in our community.
The free celebration featured live music, food trucks, games, and capped off the night with a spectacular fireworks show.
Well, today, the Harcourt Ellington Memorial Library in Clayton will reopen after months of renovations. The town celebrated with a ribbon cutting last week. Now, the library's interior was redone to invest in space dedicated to learning, connection, and community. Another grand opening ceremony will be held this weekend, coming up on Saturday.
Prediction market betting companies such as Kalshi and Polymarket could soon win formal recognition. Here in North Carolina, we would be the only state in the nation to do so far, and it's raising some concerns from lawmakers on both sides of the aisle. Now, giving these companies recognition will allow the state to tax them. That gives the state a new revenue stream worth potentially millions a year. But critics say that it will undercut sports betting in the state. They also argue this would harm the college athletics departments that depend on sports betting revenue for competing in the new NIL era. The proposal was added to the state budget with little public debate before it passed last week. You can read more on this topic from our NC Capitol team on WRAL.com.
Well, today marks 1 year since the remnants of Tropical Storm Chantal devastated parts of Durham and Orange counties. At least 6 people died in North Carolina. Flooding forced dozens of homeowners and business owners off their property. Tonight on WRAL News at 5 and 6, WRAL investigates the lessons learned from Chantal and shows you the changes local emergency departments have made to help prepare for the next storm. Well, record highs have fallen in recent days, but you might be surprised to know that we're actually at our farthest point from the sun. Let's bring in meteorologist Chris Michaels to explain the reasons for the season in today's Ask the Meteorologist. Hey, Chris.
Hey there, Ken. Yeah, it feels like we've been on the surface of the sun over the past few days, but yeah, we're at our farthest point in our orbit because our orbit around the sun is not a perfect circle. It happens in an ellipse. So today, we're about 94 million miles away from the sun, and we're actually at our closest point in January when we're 91 million miles away from that big old bright star out there. Now, here's the reason for the season. It's our tilt related to the sun. We're tilted at an angle of about 23.5 degrees. On the winter solstice, we're tilted away in the northern hemisphere. In the summer solstice, we're tilted toward the sun. That's why you see the most amount of daylight on the first day of summer. And we've lost about 6 minutes of daylight since that, but it's still been our 6th warmest stretch on record since June the 21st. Now, we still have more than 14 and a half hours of daylight. Fast forward to 6 weeks from now, and we'll be at about 13 and a half. So even though we're losing daylight, it's happening slowly, Elizabeth. So there's plenty of time to get outside. It's just been super hot these past few days.
Oh, it really has. And we don't really have that much of a break either. You know, we do, tend to see pretty hot conditions all the way into September. So we have a long way to go in terms of getting rid of the heat. So it is a WRAL weather alert day because even though it's hot all summer, we have certain days that are more dangerous than others. And this is one of those with the heat index up around 105 to maybe even hotter than that in some of our southern counties. So just be careful out there. Heat is cumulative in terms of its effects on our body. So the more days you're out in the heat, the more likely you are to have heat exhaustion. We also have a chance for thunderstorms this afternoon. It's a level 1 risk like yesterday. Yesterday we had a few scattered storms produce some wind damage and some heavy rain. Same thing today. A level 1 risk means just a few isolated cells. You can see here, if you look for the blue shaded and purple shaded areas, that's where the heavier rain was. And notice that was less than half of the viewing area. Here's who got it yesterday, up near Falls Lake, so parts of Durham and Wake County, western Wake County all the way down to Sanford. That was really where we had the heaviest, and there were a couple of other spots near Roxborough, near Goldsboro, but that nice line through parts of the triangle were about 1 inch to 1.5 inches. We also had a cluster of some severe storms between Sanford and Southern Pines. We had some wind damage. Looking at that again, just a few isolated cells that pop up with some wind damage or some heavy rain. If you didn't get it today, you may or may not get it, or yesterday, you may or may not get it today. You can see just how isolated it is at 5 o'clock. Could have some impact on the evening commute. We have cells that will continue to develop all the way up until around 10 or 11 o'clock. We also have a flood watch until midnight from Mecklenburg County, Virginia, and Northampton counties. That's where some of the rain could be a bit heavier. Tomorrow, same story. We're looking at the potential for some strong to severe thunderstorms starting in the afternoon. 7 days total, we could see 1/2 inch to 1.5 inches. So these cells definitely will drop some heavy rain if you happen to see one. And then, of course, it's hot. Before the rain starts, it'll feel like 105 in the triangle and maybe even up to 107 to 109 down to the south. It stays hot in the 90s all the way through the weekend, but the hottest day is likely to be Friday. 99, Ken, would tie the previous record.
Ooh, boy, not looking forward to that. Well, here's what you can look forward to as you get ready to head out the door. Here's a look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, moving at a nice steady clip. So right now we're not picking up any delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline, so which is really good news. That's part of your morning commute. As for that northern section of the Beltline, you were just picking up a 1 minute delay, just a little bit of a congestion around Capitol Boulevard. But other than that, it's clear sailing from I-87 440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. Here's a live look at I-40 and Carytown Boulevard. The westbound lanes coming toward us again. Traffic moving at a nice steady clip this morning. It's been a really quiet morning so far. Knock on wood, somebody help me out here. Right now, as we widen out the view, here's a look. You're looking at a 2 minute delay coming in from Wake Forest and just a 1 minute delay if you're coming in on I-87 from Knightdale and all the other routes. I-40 eastbound, you're coming in from Apex and US 1 North, delay free. And all those of you coming in from the Garner-Johnston County area, delay free at this hour as well, which is really good news. Heading over to Durham, we're picking up very little to no delays whatsoever, short of a 2 minute delay if you're using Highway 98 to get to Durham out of Wake Forest this morning at this hour.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Food concerns. A new consumer report has taken a closer look at the levels of additives in widely sold food and drinks. 5 on your side takes that closer look at the findings. And if you see breaking news or have a story tip, take video or pictures of the weather. You can report it to us at WRAL.com/report it.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
Good morning, everyone. The time is 8:26 here on your Monday morning. I'm Laura Levine. Let's get right over to meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner on this WRAL Weather Alert Day. Elizabeth.
We have heat and storms to deal with today, very similar to yesterday and really for much of the weekend. We do have a southerly flow. It's going to bring lots of warmth and humidity, enough for more thunderstorms this afternoon. So it is a WRAL Weather Alert Day for the risk of storms that could be severe. We had a cluster of those yesterday and some heavy rain in pockets, and we'll see that again today. Starting 3 to 4 o'clock in the afternoon, a few cells will pop up, but they'll be isolated at best, so not everybody will see them. Also, the heat index for today, everybody will have to deal with that. It'll feel like 105 or so in the Triangle and up to 107 to 109 in our southern counties. Ken?
It's been happening now. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. Boy, things have really thinned out, which is really good news. I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road, westbound lanes moving away from us this morning, moving at a nice steady clip. We're not picking up any delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline from the I-40, 440 interchange all the way over to Wade Avenue. So that's really good news. As far as the northern loop of the Beltline, we're just picking up a 1 minute delay, and that's really not going to make you late this morning. I'll have another update at the bottom of the hour coming up.
Ken, thank you. Video obtained exclusively by WRAL shows a thief breaking into a vape shop on Capitol Boulevard in Raleigh this morning. It happened around 2 a.m. The store owner tells WRAL about $30,000 worth of merchandise was taken. Raleigh police are still looking for the person who did this. And Raleigh police are also investigating after multiple people were shot over the holiday weekend as part of what they're calling teen takeovers. Thousands of people were at Briar Creek and Glenwood South Saturday night, leading to fights and shootings. At least 27 people have been arrested. We have much more news coming up next on Fox 50.
Today's a WRAL Weather Alert Day with extreme heat and a chance of severe storms. I'll walk you through what to expect as the heat climbs and the storms roll in.
Vape shop break-in. Thousands of dollars in merchandise was stolen from a shop on Capitol Boulevard. What we're learning from surveillance video only on WRAL.
Teen takeover. Raleigh police say thousands of teenagers gathered over the weekend, causing chaos in the city. The fights and shootings that happened, a part of this uproar.
Lots to get to here in this half hour. We're so glad you're joining us. I'm Ken Smith.
And I'm Laura Levine. Of course, we're following this WRAL Weather Alert Day as well because we have that intense heat coupled with some thunderstorms that will happen later this afternoon, Elizabeth.
That's right. Heat advisory goes into effect at noon from the Triangle area southwards. It's going to feel very hot, dangerously so in parts of the area. I'll show you what it will feel like. And then our level 1 risk for severe weather is the entire viewing area, but it will be only in pockets like it was yesterday. When we had thunderstorms, we see a few of them them pop up in places, and that's what's likely to happen today. Mid to late afternoon, those cells start to pop up, and some people are likely to see some heavy rain and possibly some wind damage, but it won't be widespread. Heat index forecast in the Triangle up to 105, and then feeling like up to 107 or 109 in some of our southern counties. We take a look right here at our backyard. Partly cloudy skies here as we take a look outside. 74 is our dew point, 76 is our temperature, so it's very warm, steamy, sticky, muggy, whatever you want to call it. And then dangerously hot this afternoon as we climb into the upper 90s, and that heat index climbs into the triple digits. We have another chance for rain and storms tomorrow, so we are looking at another chance at level 1 risk for Tuesday. We'll talk more about the timeline for that coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center. It's been a really quiet start to the morning commute, so let's keep it that way, shall we? I-40 Lake Wheeler Road, the westbound lanes moving away from us, moving at a nice steady clip this morning. We're not picking up any delays whatsoever on that southern loop of the Beltline, which is really good news. Similarly, we're picking up very little to no delays whatsoever on that northern loop of the Beltline, which covers Capitol Boulevard, Six Forks Road, Glenwood Avenue, and the like. So free and clear all the way over to Wade Avenue. Here's a look at I-40 Carytown Boulevard, the westbound lanes coming toward us. Again, just delay-free at this hour. Then that's really good news if you're getting ready to head out the door. So we widen out the view. We're picking up a little bit of delay around Highway Williams Road, Highway 55 there in Apex. Just a 3-minute delay if you're coming north on US 1. A 2-minute delay if you're coming in from Wake Forest on US 1 South, Capitol Boulevard, if you will. But all the other routes, I-87, I-40 East and West, completely delay-free at this hour. You're getting ready to head into the car. Tune us in on the radio, 101.5 HD3.
Okay, Ken, thank you. Raleigh police are now investigating an overnight break-in at a vape shop. Ali Catlabar is at the scene on Capitol Boulevard for us. And Ali, the owner says tens of thousands of dollars of product was stolen.
Yeah, Laura, and just within the past hour and a half, that vape store did reopen, but $30,000 worth of THCA product was stolen here from Mini City Tobacco and Vape. We spoke with the owner. That's according to the owner. This surveillance video shows the suspect using a hammer to break into Mini City Tobacco and Vape. It happened around 2 a.m. off Capitol Boulevard. You can see the suspect using that hammer, bashing through the glass. You can see pieces flying back as well. The suspect jumps through the window shortly after. You can see this video shows that man dragging a trash can out of the shop, and one of the store owners says that in that trash can was $30,000 worth of THCA product. Raleigh police say they are still working to identify the suspect and arrest that person, but we are working to find out more information about what led up to this break-in and that suspect. Reporting live in Raleigh, Ali Catlabar, WRAL News.
Raleigh police are also responding to a single car crash that happened this morning on Lake Wheeler Road. It happened near Kirkland Road, just south of I-40, just before 3 a.m. The WRAL breaking news tracker was there as officers investigated. Police say the woman who was driving is expected to be okay.
Also, Laura, teams worked to clear fallen trees from a road in Garner this morning. This is video from the WRAL breaking news tracker on Benson Road near Foxbury Drive. Garner police closed that road temporarily while teams removed that tree. Raleigh police say 9 people were shot after 2 massive teen takeovers in 2 parts of the city over the weekend.
This story is still unfolding here. Officers estimate several thousand teens and young adults showed up, some even with weapons. WRAL's Elizabeth Holmes walks us through the timeline of all the chaos that led to dozens of arrests.
Court records suggest at least 27 people were arrested as part of a teen takeover here on Glenwood South in downtown Raleigh. Raleigh police are still looking for the suspected shooters in each of these incidents. Here's a timeline of what we know so far. Let's start first at Briar Creek. Police say around 10:27 Saturday night, police got a report of a fight happening near the movie theater. They said this was part of a teen takeover. Nearly 3,000 teens were said to be there. After the fight, there was another large fight and shots were fired. Police say 2 innocent adults were injured. Police did detain someone under the age of 18 for having a handgun, but they don't believe that person fired the shots. Then let's go to Glenwood South. Around 1:30 Sunday morning, officers officers responded to multiple shootings around Glenwood South's entertainment district. There were about 5,000 people involved in that teen takeover. They were on multiple neighboring streets. 6 people were injured. All of those injuries appear to be non-life-threatening. Police called it a massive situation. Then, 3 hours later and less than a mile away, a fight happened at a gas station off Capitol Boulevard near Peace Street. That fight led to a shooting and 2 people were shot. We talked to people outside Briar Creek right after that first shooting.
This was a community get-together. Why are we stop the violence? I mean, I came out here to enjoy my time and see some fireworks, and next thing I know, I'm seeing a shooting and people getting shot at.
Raleigh police are still investigating. We'll share updates as we get them. Elizabeth Holmes, WRAL News in Raleigh.
And Raleigh Police Chief Rico Boyce did issue a statement after the violence over the weekend. He says what happened across our city on the 4th of July is both heartbreaking and unacceptable. Our thoughts are with every victim, every family, and everyone whose lives were impacted by these senseless acts of violence. We remain committed to identifying those responsible, holding them accountable, and working alongside our community to prevent this from happening again.
Well, we spoke to businesses in that area who said they had to close early to for the safety of their staff and customers. Many of these businesses tell WRAL they're calling on elected officials for change. Some even threw out the idea of a curfew. We've reached out to Raleigh Mayor, Janet Cowell. So far, we have not gotten a response. We're waiting for it. We will follow the latest on these teen takeovers and the search for the suspects throughout the day. You can follow on the WRAL News app and in our evening newscast starting at 4 this afternoon.
People from local community organizations now plan to speak against the proposed Wake Med Atrium merger at today's Wake County Commission meeting. The proposal has raised some concerns about the future of healthcare costs. Some people say that they're also worried because they don't feel like they were well informed about the merger before it began.
A lot of things and a lot of things that are being done with this merger was kind of done secretively before it really came to the knowledge of the public. And so that was a concern for us as well. So now that we're knowledgeable of it, we are at least expressing our opinions and voicing our concerns with what's going to happen.
And as you may recall, commissioners have delayed that voting on the deal until at least next month. Today's meeting will be at the Wake County Justice Center at 2 p.m.
Well, the fight over whether Team USA soccer star Flo Balogun should play tonight is growing. This morning, the New York Times reports Belgium was granted the right to appeal FIFA's decision to allow him to play. Now, according to the report, officials needed to submit evidence by 8 o'clock this morning. FIFA rules say a player must be suspended for a game after getting a red card. Well, Balogun was carded in the game against Bosnia last week for stepping on the back of an opponent's ankle. But FIFA announced yesterday that Balogun will be allowed to play tonight. A White House official says President Trump called FIFA's president asking for the suspension to be reviewed. Trump thanking FIFA in a social media post for reversing a great injustice, as the president put it. Tonight's match starts at 8 o'clock tonight. Well, the DBAP will host watch parties for tonight's match. Gates open at 6:30. There'll also be watch parties in Moore Square in downtown Raleigh and Nomeco Park in Zebulon. Also in Cary, a watch party is planned for sports and social at Fenton. WRAL will have coverage of tonight's big fan gatherings as well. You can also watch the action right here on Fox 50 from the comfort of your home. And before that, we'll have the Portugal-Spain game this afternoon at 3.
This morning, we are working to learn the identity of the missing teenage swimmer officials found at Jordan Lake. The 16-year-old boy was with his family at the lake on the 4th of July when he got into trouble in the water. That was around 6:30 Saturday night. Several agencies helped with the 2-day search. Officials said that around 10:30 last night, they had found the missing teen's body. His name, again, has not been released.
Well, if you're traveling home from your July 4th celebration today, you're in luck. AAA says the busiest travel days around the holiday are really behind us. AAA projected more than 72 million traveled by plane or car this year, surpassing last year's record. TSA prepared to screen 130,000 people over the holiday weekend at RD International. Checkpoints were fully staffed and prepared to handle the large passenger volume. We spoke with people as they returned from their 4th of July weekend. One woman says her experience at San Francisco for her trip here on Thursday was not as smooth.
It took me longer to get through security than it has in a very long time. We left 2 hours early to get here from Fort Bragg, just expecting there to be traffic, and we didn't run into any. So now we're here early, but that's totally okay.
While it still may not be as busy at the airport as the last few days, it's still a good idea to arrive early and check your flight status before your trip. AAA also suggests avoiding that post-holiday congestion on the roads to head back home today or tomorrow.
We have more news ahead now at 8:40. Before you buy, what's really hiding in your favorite snacks? Some of the foods that your family eats every day are raising new questions. 5 on your side breaks down the findings.
Also, critical hearing. The man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is expected in court for a multi-day hearing, but a judge will decide about the murder charges he faces.
And an update from the Storm Prediction Center. They've added a level 2 risk to some of our northern counties. We'll talk about what level 2 means and the timeline for today's storms. 8:44, we have that flow coming out of the south. This time of year, it's very tropical, so lots of moisture in the atmosphere, and it's hot out there. It is a WRAL weather alert day because just like yesterday, we could have the potential for some severe storms, especially in our northern counties. From Roxborough over toward Roanoke Rapids, you can see that level 2 risk. That means that that's the best chance of seeing severe thunderstorms for today. We could see a few pockets with severe storms anywhere in our viewing area, but it's more likely that we would see it up near the Virginia line. Expect those to begin mid to late afternoon and continue well into the evening. Not everybody will see those storms, even though we do have that level 1 risk across the entire viewing area. Heat index is going to be rough this afternoon, feeling like right around 105 in the Triangle and then 107 to 109 down in our southern counties. We'll talk about when temperatures might drop at least a little bit coming up. Ken?
Elizabeth, US 1 North coming in out of Apex. It's a trouble spot this morning. We're seeing some delays between Highway 55 and the US 64 highway this morning. Right now, you're looking at a 4-minute delay. So depending on where you're headed this morning, you might want to take the I-540 interchange just to be on the safe side, or just know that 4 minutes is not necessarily going to make you late. But as far as other routes heading into Raleigh this morning, we're just picking up a 3-minute delay coming in from Wake Forest, and I-40 eastbound, I-40 westbound, I-87, all relatively delay-free at this hour.
Ken, thank you. A new Consumer Reports investigation found concerning levels of certain additives and contaminants in some widely sold food and drinks. 5 on your side's Alex Littlehell shares the findings in a preview to the investigation airing tonight on WRAL News at 6.
They're pantry staples in many homes. Chips, pudding, soft drinks, processed food. Many use additives to add color, sweetness, texture, or preservation.
Companies in the U.S. are not required to disclose the amount of a specific additive or contaminant that's actually in their products.
And Consumer Reports says that matters because with some substances, the dose can make a difference, especially when people eat the same foods again and again. Consumer Reports partnered with Yuka, a product transparency app, to test 40 popular processed foods and drinks for food additives and contaminants linked to potential health concerns at certain exposure levels.
What we found is that 1/4 of the products we tested contained concerning amounts of additives.
Tonight on WRAL News at 6, the response to these findings, how they're being reviewed at the federal level, and the ingredient changes that some of the makers of these flag products plan to make, plus what you need to look for when you're shopping for these popular items. I'm Alex Littlehales, 5 on your side.
Well, the man accused of killing Charlie Kirk is due in court today as part of a critical multi-day hearing. During that hearing, the judge will decide whether probable cause supports the charges against the suspect, 23-year-old Tyler Robinson. Both the prosecution and defense are all set to provide evidence. Now, if the judge allows the case to proceed, Robinson will have the chance to enter a plea. Charlie Kirk's parents and brother Erica are expected to attend that hearing.
The Siler City community is now mourning 2 people who died in a house fire. The fire happened early Sunday morning. The Siler City Fire Department says another person was taken to the hospital with burns. The cause of this fire is currently under investigation. The names of the victims have not been released.
3 people are hurt after a holiday weekend shooting in Durham. Durham police say gunshots were reported on Ellis Road around 5:15 yesterday morning. 2 men and a woman later walked into a hospital to be treated for gunshot wounds in Durham. 1 man is in serious condition. Police are investigating what led up to those shots being fired. We've reached out to Durham police for more information. As soon as we hear back, we'll inform you as to what happened.
The Person County Board of Commissioners is holding a hearing to get feedback about a proposed $107 million school bond. The bond would fund major school construction projects for the school district. Tonight's meeting is at the county's office building in Roxborough. It begins at 6 p.m.
Wake County EMS is urging people to take extra caution today, and especially since it's going to be another extremely hot day. Many people spent the weekend out in the heat for 4th of July festivities. Precautions are still needed this week, especially if you've spent the past few days outdoors. Wake EMS says you should limit your time outside between noon and 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, if you do have to be out during that time, stay in the shade. Now, prevent a trip to the emergency room. Wake EMS says you need to notice the signs and take action immediately.
When you start to experience any kind of dizziness, muscle cramps, excessive sweating or actual loss of sweating, those are medical emergencies. So seek some shelter, get in some shade, get inside.
Wake EMS says you should put cool, damp cloths on the back of your neck or armpits to help cool off quickly. If that does not help, call 911 immediately. Check WRAL.com for more guidance on how to prevent heat-related illnesses. A couple of big wins in the knockout rounds of the FIFA World Cup.
And a big announcement. Let's take a look here at what's trending. Starting with this, it's the end of an era. Soccer legend Cristiano Ronaldo has announced that this will be his last FIFA World Cup. The 41-year-old recently became the first player in history to score in 6 different World Cups. All of those goals coming with Portugal.
Yeah, he's been setting major records over his career. He also is the second oldest scorer in World Cup history. Of course, Portugal plays Spain today at 3 o'clock right here on Fox 15.
Okay.
Hey, it's cause for celebration, sticking with the World Cup theme for fans in England and Norway. Both teams picked up big wins over the weekend in their round of 16 matches in the FIFA World Cup. Thousands of fans were in Oslo to watch Norway beat Brazil 2-1. And fans in London were excited after England beat Mexico 3-2.
Oh, I love the excitement. Look at them go crazy. Well, now the two countries, I should say, will face each other this Saturday, and you can watch that match on Fox 50.
It's going to be quite fun. But around here, boy, we're following some heat.
Oh, we are. We know there's a lot of watch parties happening with the games tonight. Elizabeth, a lot of people will need to stay hydrated and actually get ahead of the game by drinking that water right now.
And to watch out for those storms, too. You have that chance for severe storms as we get into the afternoon and evening. High heat, of course, this afternoon. It's going to feel like 100 to 106, maybe even hotter than that in some of our southern counties. And so do be careful. Heat-related injuries will be a thing as we get through the afternoon and evening if you're going to be outside. Of course, we have a flow coming out of the south, lots of moisture in place right now. And as we start to heat things up, we'll see those cells popping up across our area. Notice here, yellow there. That's a level 2 risk for our northern counties. That's new just as of the last 15 or 20 minutes. The remainder of the viewing area in a level 1 risk. With our level 1 risk yesterday, we had several reports of wind damage in the Sandhills and a few others scattered across the region. We can expect the same thing again for this evening and a better chance even up toward the Virginia line. Let's talk about the timeline. We're looking at partly cloudy skies right now, but by the time we get to 2 or 3 in the afternoon, we're seeing a few isolated cells pop up. And that's the thing with thunderstorms. Typically, we have isolated pockets. So we had a good heavy band of rain really stretching from Durham all the way down to the Sandhills, but it was fairly narrow. But in that band, we saw 1 inch to 1.5 inches of rain. But a lot of people didn't see any rain yesterday. And same thing today. Some people will see the rain pop up and others will not. But if you do see storms coming your way, make sure you turn on your WRAL, turn on the TV to WRAL. We'll be walking you through those storms to let you know if there's anything dangerous coming your way. Mid-70s right now with our dew point and our temperature. It really does not feel very comfortable out, and it will just get worse this afternoon with temperatures climbing into the upper 90s. We have a heat advisory in effect for this afternoon. Durham, Raleigh southward, and of course expecting it to feel like 109 in Fayetteville, 105 in Raleigh, and around 102 up in Roxborough. Heat risk drops slightly tomorrow from extreme today to major Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. That could keep us out of a heat advisory, but it's still going to be really hot. Our normal high is 91. We could be back to 99 on Friday. 99 would tie the previous record high. Tomorrow we'll have another chance for thunderstorms. Already a level 1 risk for tomorrow, so just be careful out. We're watching tomorrow potentially for a weather alert day. And of course the heat's back on for the weekend. We have a small chance for scattered thunderstorms each day this week, but our best chance is today, tomorrow, and then on Saturday. We'll be right back with your top stories.